Hi everybody, it's Russ from My Hammers 11. I hope you're all safe and well. If your channel, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you're made aware of any time we put new content on. We have videos going up daily, but sometimes 2-3 times a day. We might relegate another team, and I feel in a good mood, so I'll put another video up. So make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't miss any content. Loads of great guests coming up, loads of great fans, players, people like that, and we've got a 57-year-old, not 57-year-old, but 57 years supporting. Well, he wish. 57 years he's been supporting the club, Mr. Ian Tompkins. How are you, Ian? I haven't seen you for years.
I'm very well, thanks, mate. It's good to see you as well, Russ.
It is. It's taken a pandemic to get us both together.
I know, yeah.
How have you been during this weird time we live in at the moment?
Well, working throughout. I'm working in the NHS,
Yep.
so it's been pretty flat out to say since February. And although things, getting quieter, as everybody knows what they read and hear, but it's different kinds of busy as you go through it. So we're kind of preparing busily now for second waves, local outbreaks, flu, winter. You know, it's an interesting world, very interesting world. Yeah,
it's not one thing; it's another at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
It seems, but at least we've got West Ham, Ian, to you know. I don't know if it's everyone was like gagging for it, wasn't it? After 100 days, and then it was like same old West Ham, and then the fair, and then we know West Ham more than anything. Ian, the last few games they've made it count, and they always do, don't they? They test us.
Exactly.
They test
very
us.
boring. I remember once. I don't know when it was. My memory's gone to buggered, to be honest. But I mean, years ago, I think we were in something like 10th or 11th, and I remember just people saying, "This is a bit boring, isn't it? We much prefer a bit of a scrap or something."
I wouldn't mind a couple of them Kirbishley or Allardyce years now. Do you know what I mean? Just to give us a bit of particularly with everything else that's going on, the threat of relegation on top of everything else is But we know. Who knows what happens? Obviously, we've got 2 games left. We've got obviously United tomorrow. I'm actually doing a Man United fan podcast, and they get like an opposition person.
So
that's going to be quite fun. I'm looking forward to that. And then obviously we'll relegate Villa on Sunday, and it'll be all good. It'll be all good.
Yeah,
we can start again.
We'll start all over again.
It's crazy because it's almost like this mad rush to get all the games in. There's so many games, and then after Sunday, that's it. We're buggered until mid-September.
I know.
So, but at least it means like anyone involved in football will have some more time to come on my channel, so that's good. They're all busy. It was easy. It was like shooting fish in a barrel when everyone was like locked down. Now everyone's back at football. You can't get anyone in, but it is.
You're doing pretty well. I see you've had quite an array of people on here. Yeah,
it's gone well. It's gone well. It's been fun. It's. I mean, more than anybody, and there's the West Ham community, the West Ham family, and that's what this whole channel embodies. Everyone gets mucks in and helps out and stuff, and it's really nice. And
absolutely.
I've sort of felt really naive to everything in terms of I sat in that room in that box at Upton Park and under the stadium. I don't really interact with any of the other fans, and it's just nice to do it now. It might be 20 years too late, but it doesn't matter. We'll get through it. And it's growing great guns. Having loads of great guests, including yourself. Long time Hammers, 57 years supporting the club. You get less for murder.
57 varieties, I think, isn't it, or something?
Heinz.
Yes.
Although I read off topic as always, I read there's more than 57 varieties of Heinz, but they like the number after a while. That's what I heard. They just start marketing. That's what they kept it because it was more cooler than 60. So Ian, 57 years. How did it start? Why was West Ham your club?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was born and brought up in Bedford, and I know there's always, or there was anyway, a fairly healthy supply of West Ham fans in Bedford. But I mean, originally, I suppose my mother was born in East Ham. My granddad apparently went to the 23 Cup final. So I guess it was from there, but I think it was about the time 63, 64, we won the FA Cup. And I just opted for West Ham. I can't specifically remember why. And like everybody, we had those sticker cards. God, I'm sounding old. Those Panini sticker things, and I can see them like Peter Eustace and people like that, Johnny Sissons and so on. But obviously being a kid in Bedford, although London wasn't that far away, it was a little while before I started to get up to Upton Park. But Bedford Town, who were then in the Southern League, and quite a well-established club then. I think they went bust and re-emerged as something else now. But they used to play, I distinctly remember, in the Metropolitan League. And of course, A team used to play there, and they'd come up to Bedford every now and again. So I'd be straight down there when they were there. And I can't remember all the players. I remember talking to, do you remember Peter Barnes, the old club secretary?
Yeah.
Got this real anorak knowledge of the club, and he was probably there at that time. But I tried to get some of the lists of players that played then. But the one player I do distinctly remember seeing at Bedford Town in that A team was Clyde Best. It's massive. Guy, but it's fortunate enough to meet him a few years later, and what a lovely guy he is, but apart from that, I guess I think there was Johnny Aries, maybe. I distinctly remember that name being there. So I think that's where it started, and then gradually, slowly but surely, it just happened. My best friend at the time, he was also a West Ham supporter, so we used to go up, and there was a little of us go on the train from Bedford and going up to Upton Park, and I started going there, I suppose 70, 71, around that time, and just kept going back, and it was just something magic about it, wasn't there? In those days, I was 14, 15, something like that, I think, and going up, getting off the train at Upton Park, walking up the road, it was just a buzz about it. Experience in those days, and just kept going and going, really. And I distinctly remember it. I can see it now. I used to go on the North Bank, and there was a sign, I think, above the turnstiles that says "Remember Ibrox" or something. Don't push or crush or rush or whatever. Going up there, and I'm not that tall, and trying to make your way down the front, and the guy coming around selling peanuts. Peanuts. That's all you could hear him say. He's wandering around. But they were magical times, and I'll never forget those experiences. But that's where it started.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is those, and I mean, you couldn't sell peanuts now, could you? God, dear.
No.
Someone will have someone's got an allergy. God, dear. Yeah, you can imagine. You can't have an airplane, let alone be thrown around, the London Stadium and stuff. But you're right. Yeah. It's about the memories, and and that's what comes through. Which I was a bit naive to it when I started doing this channel, but how much memories you evoke memories. Because obviously, I'm talking to other people, maybe people that I would. My era as well, and you go, oh god, yeah, I remember doing that, and I remember seeing where that seat was, and as you said, going down and smelling all the different meats that were cooked on the side of the road. No idea what the meats were, but it's a smell. A smell of cheap burgers. I used to remember walking around from the bowling, and there was those two burger vans like each side of by the working man's club at the sports club, and I just thought, why are they next to each? They just didn't work together. It's like it's the most ridiculous thing. But they just smell, and it's just the smells. You don't get that now. Everything's too sort of a bit more sterile, and you don't have the sort of street vendors. But great times, great. And I watched the Iron Men film the other day. I don't know why I did it, because I started crying. I don't know why I watched it. It always makes me upset. But I was watching it, and it was like you forget all the the £2. 2 bags for £1 pick and mix guy and stuff like that, and it's great. And that's the whole idea of the channel, is just like nostalgia and stuff. And so obviously since it was at the early 70s when you sort of properly went going, there must be some sort of key moments that sort of stick in your mind when you're supporting it.
Losing a Hereford, I think, or something. I think that most of those memories about losing, to be honest. But we can say that, can't we, and kind of laugh it off a bit. But I mean, it was. I think we lost to Hereford in the cup, and Dudley Tyler was playing for them, and then we signed him.
Quite possibly.
Remember that? I distinctly remember being on the North Bank and seeing the crowd in the South Bank. It kind of kicking off down that end of the stadium, and then people piling on the pitch. Yeah, no, I mean, I in the North Bank, I distinctly remember seeing Trevor Brooking taking corners and stuff. I could never see if the ball out the ball went. I just see him at the post, at the corner flag rather. Couldn't really couldn't see the goal. But it was just part of the buzz, the atmosphere, and everything. And it was all home games. I've still got the program somewhere. Yeah. Little blue A5 kind of size they were, when they were with a double claret band across the front.
Yeah. No, it's funny, isn't it? You're right. It's like it's like you think about it. I mean, obviously, I never really stood really. When I started going, it was all seated really, and you can just imagine, as you said, being having the milk crates and going on the milk crates to see, and it's just like it's lovely to hear, because I can just picture it by how everyone talks about it so sort of so reminiscently and so nostalgically, and it's. Will be, it's weird obviously at the moment because there's no crowd and it's just strange.
Yeah.
And it's a weird world we live in, and we don't know when we go back. It's weird for me when you can sit there and you can hear the journalists typing on their laptops. That's how quiet it is. It's like,
well, that's it. I do remember, when they started putting that crowd noise on, I was like, I can't stand this. So anyway, I'll turn that off, and then all you could hear was obviously like the players on Sky, whatever it was, without the effects, and it just reminded me so much of like coming out of the office at Upton Park, kind of mid-evening when the reserves or whatever youth team, and all you could hear was the players and everything, and so anyway, I've kind of got used to it now a bit. Not the same.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It was like when we used to, I mean, even at the new gaff, they do the under 23s, and it's probably about 200 people there, but it's still weird. But because it's like when you play bubbles and it stops and there's no sound afterwards.
I know.
It's really weird. But and I think it's taken a while for everyone to get used to it. And definitely West Ham players, it seemed. And it'd be the way of life, and probably the way of life for a few months probably into the new season whenever it starts. So it's what it is, and we're used to it, and thank God it's better than nothing in it, and I think it gives us something new to moan about. We love a moan. One bloke I interviewed was like, West Ham's like a chore, and it's a chore I want to start doing again, and I know what he means. It's like, it's so true. You sort of go, oh, West Ham, but it just, although all these different games and game times and stuff are just throwing me, like tomorrow's like 6 o'clock, and I hate that, because I just, I look at my phone and it's like I've missed 3 games, because it's just 2 6 o'clocks and stuff, and then it's just weird. It's just weird, isn't it? The whole thing's weird.
It is weird, yeah.
But as I said, it's better done, and better than obviously I spoke to I interviewed Julian Faubert yesterday, and obviously he's in, and Ligue 1 isn't on, and so he's like, it's so much better to have some football than no football at all, and so it is true. But anyway, we're talking about nostalgia. We're talking about your career as a fan. Now, obviously, what we do is we do this 11. Mm-hmm. So we every fan and every player we have on the channel, apart from Harry Redknapp, who managed to get out of that, never really got tied him down to an 11. We do this 11. So 11. You pick your 11 teams. So the Ian 11. The only criteria is you have to be alive to have seen them play. Now you have quite a nice spread. No disrespect, but as an experienced fan, you have quite a nice spread. So you're more advantageous than maybe me, for example. So if we go with the Tompkins 11, who would be in goal?
Well, for me, I thought about this, and I go with instinct. I always do. I'm not very technically au fait with football. People say, "Oh, he's a so and so left-sided, but he's there," and all that. I don't know. I just like the excitement and the entertainment of it all. And I do remember when I worked at the club, I used to sit in the director's box, and quite often I would end up with like Stuart Pearce or the football guest, or what's his name, Frank, the England manager. I've forgotten his name now, Capello.
Yes.
and they'd sit next to me, and it's like they're watching a completely different game.
Yeah.
You know, and well, Capello, I couldn't understand a word he says, you know, and I'm just kind of, yes, oh yes, you know, being polite and everything. But then you get someone like Piercy next to you, and they're just reading the game in a completely different way. But so I'm not really technically au fait with it. I know who makes a good player, and I'm always been about passion and commitment. I think that's what we like as West Ham fans, isn't it? As long as they're putting a good effort, you know. I always remember I think we were winning 4-0 against West Brom, and we lost 5-4, and someone coming out saying that's the best 5-4 defeat I've seen. You know,
it's just West Ham, isn't it?
Brilliant.
It's West Ham.
But in goal, I'd put Parksy.
Yeah.
You know, for me, Phil Parks, he's a lovely guy as well. But you know, what a good goalie he was, and a good servant to the club. And I always remember when he was playing there or something, the span of his finger to thumb was about 11 inches or something ridiculous. So when I first met him, because he used to come in a lot, I don't know whether he still does, you know, to the club, just looking at his hands all the time, and I said, "Can you show me your hand?" You know, it's kind of enormous spades, you know. But what a great goalkeeper for me. I mean, there's been others, obviously, but I mean, when I first started, it was Bobby Ferguson. I distinctly remember, but no, I think Phil Parks overall.
Yeah, and a nice bloke as well. You know, he's just
he's a lovely guy.
That whole generation are just nice blokes, to be honest. Yeah, Parksy's in. Parksy's in. Okay, you carry on, Ian. You go through the team as you want to.
Yeah, I'm just going to go down the list. I mean, at the back there, I've got Tonka Ray Stewart for me.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just lucky, I think, because all the Leeds guys were my kind of heroes. Not just when I was young, you know, that young when I first started, but you know, when I was kind of going home and away and everything else in the late 70s, early 80s, and Ray Stewart, I mean, he's just, you know, he was great. And of course, if you knew he got a penalty, bang, that was in. But for me, no, Ray Stewart. I've got to go for Frankie Lampard. I think he used to play number 3. Again, numbers are all gone.
Numbers go everywhere. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I always he had this habit. I remember he used to watch the the Brian Moore show on a Sunday afternoon if I'm after the home game. Of course, living in Bedford, we had Anglia TV. Norwich or Ipswich, and that was it. It bored me rigid. So if I went to my nan's just south of Bedford, then we could get Thames or Pen. So then we got the West. But Frank always had, for me, he scored some cracking goals. Kind of with his, I think it was right or his left, I don't know, but on a volley where he. So I'd try and emulate that in the park. Of course.
Never worked,
No, I mean, again, you know, great. Bonzo. Yeah, got to, you know, he you know, what a great buccaneer. Again, really lucky to have met him and had quite some good conversations with him. A lovely guy, great servant, but what a player, you know. I've still got some old VHSs of West Ham. I can't remember where they are now, but you look at those and they were great times, the old muddy and everything, but you know, they put everything into it. Next I've got there is Alvin Martin, Stretch.
Stretch. I know he's certain, you know, nicknames now, because I didn't know any of the nicknames, and so when I started interviewing all the players, they talk with Stretch and Reg and and Animal and Robot, and it's like, who? And it's like Tony Gale looked at me like I was an idiot. It was just like, Stretch. Alvin Martin. Okay, because I'm Reg. Okay, thanks, Tony. But Alvin Martin, great servant for the club.
I mean, there's been others. Clive Best, I've already mentioned him. Of course, you know, it's a very entertaining stories there. But Bobby Moore, I never actually saw Bobby Moore actually play a lot live, really. But what really hurt me, I think, great player, no need to say anything really about Bobby, but
of course,
what really hurt me was the way that I think, you know, back in those days, not just the club, but football, how it treated him and everything. And I got to know Stephanie Moore during my time at the club, and that and his daughter, and that was very sad. But again, fantastic player. And even now, sometimes when you look back, compare the speed and pace of today's game to the old games, you think, well, it's kind of a bit like old cars and fast new cars, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just a great, intelligent player, and just a great advert to the game, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Devonshire, Dev.
Oh, good old Dev. Yeah,
again, just such a brilliant, exciting player to watch. And again, I saw you interviewed him the other day, I think.
Yeah, did, yeah.
Yeah, what a great guy. And I suppose, at the front there, I thought I was reminded, someone was talking on the radio the other day about, have we been bailed out over the years? And you cannot forget the Kitson and Hartson combination. I mean, that was quite exciting. But I'll come back to McAvenny and Gotti.
Yeah.
And there's loads of them, but these to me are the standout players that give you real consistent memories.
Yeah,
I think.
As a partnership, you're right. It's like West Ham fans, whoever we get, whoever turns out up front for us, they always get compared to McAvenny and Cottee because they've still got something like 7. I mean, that team's still got 17 club records from that season, and just the affection that they have for McAvenny in terms of personality and Cottee in terms of what he gave to the club in terms of all the goals. And I don't think you'll ever have no one buys partnerships now, do they? It's always like it's a front three or it's people fit into a formation. And they were like, as you said, Kits and Hartson although Ashton and Bellamy were meant to be a partnership, never really worked. But you're right, McAvenny and Cottee were just awesome.
They were there, and McAvenny's what a character.
Love him.
Yes, and Cottee, he lives and breathes West Ham, and I've know him quite well over the years, and he's just 120% West Ham United, and still very passionate about it and everything. And then I thought about Di Canio, but for me it's Trevor. I think
Trev.
Just for Di Canio again, great entertainer, brilliant. But I mean, for me, just Trevor. And again, you see him, don't you? Every game he's still over there, isn't he?
Even now, he's obviously one of the 300, and I think he's the one. He's managed to figure out how to put a face mask on. Every time they bless them, every time they cut to him, they never got their face masks on properly. But so Trev knows how to do it, and I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Lovely guy.
And then my final one here as well. I thought difficult up the top here, but and I thought I was there at the time. I distinctly remember the day we signed Tevez. Again, one of those players. I do definitely remember that day.
What was that day like, Ian? What was that day like?
I was with Terry Brown, and he went off. He said, "I've just got to go back." There was some wedding going on, and he'd gone off to. He said, "I've got to go back to London." And he came back, and then he said, "Oh, I've just done something. Might be interesting." So, what's that? So these two players, but to be fair, the one player for me that stood out this season, and again, he's going to be a legend if he isn't already, is Antonio.
Yeah.
I think he's been our best signing ever since we bought him. He's just, I think he's brilliant, and what a great performance he's put in over the past. He's got so much energy and everything else, and he'll be there.
He's just got the bit between his teeth at the moment, hasn't he? And it's like, and the only thing is, I'm always worried because he's like one injury away from being out for 2 months. He's despite he being like a human muscle, like one massive muscle, he's so fragile when it comes to his feet and his ankles and stuff. And but I think it's great, and hopefully he finishes the season well. I mean, he's something like top. He's obviously scored 4 the other day. He's like top goal scorer since restart, and it's just brilliant. It's been a revelation. He's just done an Arnautovic with him. You know what I mean? It's like Arnie when he was just stuck on the wing and doing nothing with on the slab, and always put him up. And I think he's great, and he just seems to be. Although I do mention it every time, I'm surprised he hasn't done the Kevin Nolan chicken dance after a goal yet. I don't know why he hasn't done it. It's so obvious. It's like it's almost too obvious to see.
Yeah.
But no, I love him. No,
But
I do.
I wanted to put one in from the team now, and look back. I mean, another great hero of mine when I was a kid was Pop Robson. Great. It just struck me. He's a great scorer, a great footballer. But yeah, no, I think Mikel from this team was, he's for me the standout player, and yeah, hopefully he'll stay, because I know a couple of years ago I saw some rumours flying around that he might be offloaded. I don't know, it's just paper talk, but I mean, he's great. Yeah.
And you got to think of him and also people like Mark Noble as well. It's like Antonio. He's had so many managers have come and gone. Well, 3 or 4 since Antonio, but he still has been at the forefront of the team selection, which shows he obviously means something. I think, he was going to go to Palace, wasn't he? I think, and that ain't going to happen now. But hopefully some of the others they get rid of instead. But but you know what I mean? I just think he's brilliant, and he just epitomises that sort of high energy that we need now with him and Souček and Bowen, and it's the front three's ready. You've got Bowen, Haller, and Antonio. They just got to pull the trigger on it, and I think we'll see something special next season. But it's nice. Yeah, hopefully we can only but dream, Ian. We can only but dream. More than ever.
The line from the song.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we don't set ourselves on a good footing, do we? When we sing that song, I always find it a bit. It's a great song, but you're already admitting defeat before you've started the game. But it's like glory, glory, Man United or something like that. But it's fun, and I mean, it's just one of those things. We'll see what happens, and we've got 2 games to go, and hopefully then we'll start all getting back to the gaff, and everyone can be together, and that'd be nice. And then we can meet up. Yeah, exactly. I
don't like. Looking back too much. It's about now and looking forward. I don't like it when we dwell too much on the past. I mean, there's some great memories and everything else, but we've got to look forward. We've got to think about today and tomorrow. That's what counts. But I'm sure, hopefully, we've got this. It's just something special about the club, and I'm pretty sure it isn't like that elsewhere. I mean,
I know what you mean. I think it's like I think we're biased. I think we are biased, but it's like and I think there's same as me. Working in the club, there's a special group of people there, and obviously people have gone and come and gone. But I still fondly remember karaoke night in the Alvin Martin suite. I think it was you, me, Lloyd, and Jeremy. I still remember those days.
Yeah,
it's really funny. It's funny how things sort of stick in your memory. And
we used to have those little pre-match meetings, didn't we? And we thought like the away team, and they're going to have. We knew we'd probably beaten them, have a rotten journey, putting Highway to Hell on at the end of the match. While they're waiting to go. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
That's great.
It's like I was talking to Alan Pardew the other day. We had a phone call, and I was talking about how we used to go into his office, and he, because he was really hands on, wasn't he, about the songs he wanted to play and things like that. And he remembered. He remembered hiring a Dean Martin impersonator from the Rat Pack Live at the Savoy Hotel, and he couldn't remember. And the Dean Martin impersonator couldn't remember the Bubbles song. Couldn't remember how the words. It was like brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I mean, we had some good times there, and I mean, I know I was a big part in the move to the new place, and I know there's a lot of fors and against it, but it wasn't. We weren't going to be able to stay the same at bowling, but there were some great times there, weren't there? I do remember, in the old supporters club. Yeah, because we'd have our little pre-match meetings, and I'd nip out for a pint in the supporters club.
The truth comes out now, isn't it?
Well, you can nip over to Belly Busters and get a burger back in the press room.
There I am, stuck with a little Ponzi sandwich and having to hold my wee until the end of the game because we got half time, and you're down the supporters club in the fifth half.
Well, that's all about engagement, isn't it? You know, it's
very good, very diplomatic, Ian. Mate, it's been lovely chatting to you, man. It's lovely reminiscing about the old times, and hopefully we can go out for a beer soon when everything's back to normal, and we'll get the gang together. And it's been great, and thank you. I appreciate your time, man. It's still 1-0 to Villa at the moment. So
interesting.
How interesting. But thank you, Ian. And obviously, thanks everyone for watching. Right. Like, share, subscribe, do all the usual stuff.
Absolutely.
And for me and Ian, take care, stay safe. Come on, you irons. Big game tomorrow. Come on, you irons. Cheers, everyone. See you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.